Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Today, my name is Low-Key Bunny, and today's date is May 2nd, 2024. Today I want to discuss something today that doesn't really get brought up too much, just due to the fact that, honestly, it's kind of annoying in this space. And I just want to give some presence as far as specifically what this is. I learned a lot in the last 3, 4, 5 days when it comes to specifically DeFi, meme coins, and expectations that an investor or a trader might need to have in order to be able to jump in and profit. So today I'm going to be talking about something called forks. Okay, no, not the fork that you use to eat, but a fork that essentially is a copy clone of a already existing project that is doing good. But the problem is, how can that be bad for you? Well, let's talk about it, shall we? Let's roll up and get our minds right, so to speak. So what I want to do is I want to give you guys a case study as far as a particular project that honestly is doing well in this space in regards to crypto. But the problem is that a lot of times people go into these spaces and they think honestly to themselves, well, they got a Twitter, they got a pretty phenomenal website. The community seems like it's pretty strong. Let's dive in and let's, start trading, or let's get in early so that way this coin can hopefully 10, 100, 15, whatever X, right? So what I want to do is I want to show you what I've done and what I've noticed in this space. And I noticed this just purely due to the fact that when it comes to transactional information on the blockchain or on Solana chain or whatever it may be, you can literally sit there, if you have the time and you know what you're doing, you can literally sit there and audit and figure out why this project didn't go well. So I was sitting down, right, and I was minding my own business, and I literally was thinking to myself, okay, let's do some research on some projects that I might be able to snipe, get in, make some good profit. Right. So as I started to do my research, a project came across my eyes. I was like the first out of 1 or 2 people to see it, just because I know it was super early. You got to get these things super early. I have tools that help me out in the long run as far as helping me figure out if I want to be able to jump in that project or not. So that's something we can all obviously talk about later. But in a nutshell, when it came down to it, I jumped into this project, and when I say I jumped in, I didn't actually put some liquidity in, or I didn't trade. I just basically started doing my research. And I think that's one of the things when it comes to specifically these types of projects or these spaces, what type of research to do, how to do it, and like the timing. Because I honestly get it. When you see a project that looks really, really, really good, the first thing you want to do is jump in right away just because you see all the greens, all the buys, and you're worried that it's going to be, you're going to be missing out on an opportunity, right, that you could have 110 whatever X'd on. Now, if we're talking specifically the pump.fun economy or ecosystem, we're talking different because there's different rules of the game compared to Radian and the DEX index. When you get into those type of atmospheres in the market, way more demand, way more volume than there is in pump.fun. But right now, I want to just talk to you specifically about pump.fun as far as how you can find, hopefully, gems. Because the reason why a lot of times people are on pump.fun is because literally these meme coins start there and they end up on Radium, which they end up being 110, XYZs. But if you're able to get something super, super, super early, like pump.fun early, these are the people that are 1,000xing just because they're going to have a startup liquidity or market cap of 5, 10,000, and the next thing you know, that thing is exponential, as they say. But with that being said, let's jump to the computer real quick. Let me show you kind of what I'm talking about, and then we can kind of dive further as far as how we can make ourselves better researchers, better investors, better entrepreneurs in this space. All right, so let's jump in real quick. All right, sorry about that, guys. So what we have here, and this is a case study. So for any dev that's currently on PAMP, so I'm not trying to promote this at all. This is actually giving awareness of what's going on. So this project right here, PAMP, is something that I saw on pump.fun. And I was excited. I was like, oh, wow. Like, the reason why I was excited is because first I go to the site, right? And one thing about a website, too, is like, it's how much time and effort did they put into it? Because that also determines whether the project is going to be a rug or not, or, you know, the developer is simply just in it for a quick, mere couple dollars. And actually, that brings me up to my next point, which is a term that I recently learned in this space that is actually interesting. It's called JEET, J-E-E-T, or jeeting, or jeet. Basically what it is when you have a developer or, you know, just a person that's bullish on a project, they start a project, they literally sell all their shares though before this thing rockets to the moon. So a jeeter would be a person that sold on, let's say, 10x their money, sold all their profit, and sold all their coins, made the market go down for a little bit, the market picked back up, and next thing you know it was at $100 million market cap, and he could have sold at, you know, 100,000 rather than 10K. So he basically cheated his way to a non-successful. I mean, profit is profit, right? But at the end of the day, that's what the meaning means. So, anyways, I go on here and I'm like, all right, let me do some research. So I do some research by looking on the website. And I first say to myself, what type of website's going on? What type of information that they got? You know, is it very valuable? Does the website look like, you know, it took a little time? Because these things matter. You know, people are not going to pay X, Y, and Z dollars or spend X, Y, and Z time on something that they just are going to remove or, you know, sell off in less 5 minutes. It doesn't make sense. It literally does not make sense, especially on pump.fun when you cannot move the liquidity. The LP is burnt. So they have to figure out other ways. So I'm like, all right, cool. So then I see that they got a Telegram, and I see they have a Twitter. So I go to the Twitter and I'm like, all right, what's going on here? So I see, like, you know, 1,000 plus members. I see, you know, 20,000. So I'm like, oh shit, like this thing is pumping, right? Lo to my dismay, right? I find out that this project here, which is Pump on Solana, and this project here, which also says Pump on Sol, are completely not related to each other. And this is the reason why. When you go to this website, and again, a lot of these don't have this up there, some of them do. So I don't know if this is like something that maybe people who especially have succeeded to a certain market cap and still are driving force and still, you know, have a liquidity pool and are on the market. Well, let's just say that if they put their address on their Twitter or on their website, this helps people like me and people that are doing research find out whether the project that they may invest into is baloney or not. So if I copy this address here, which is the Solana address of this contract, and I go into something like pump.fun, right, and I paste the address into the search field here, one of the ways that you can find out that if it's a, you know, a real coin or not is by pasting that there. If nothing comes up, something's definitely fishy. Okay, so then I'll go, okay, that's kind of weird. I don't see it there. But if we go to Dex or Dex Screener, for example, which is where you can track, you know, the Solana coins that have hit the market, and then I paste that address there. Let's see if we can find anything. Now, we also got to remember too, ladies and gentlemen, that when it comes down to it, these are fungible tokens. Keyword, fungible, not non-fungible. So the whole liquidity could have been burnt if the LP was not burnt. I mean, you know, so there's a lot of different variances here. But for the fact that it says, I'm thinking to myself, okay. It says March 26th, calling all Solana meme coins. It says Pump is a chance to get an early biggest Pump to the world scene. 100% locked in burnt LP. So if that's the case, right, the LP's burnt, then it's still alive. It would just depend on whether they want to pump it or not, right? But yeah, with that being said, guys, you know, it's just, you have to look at these things as far, especially the contract address, and make sure the same. And also, one thing to also just, you know, this is another thing to throw in there, and that even though that this already is a lot, but sometimes these projects fail. When I say they fail, it means like maybe the liquidity pool is just so low that the coin is not worth shit. Hence shitcoin. But sometimes the developers might even just sell their own Twitter spaces because they have no need for it. They're moved on to a whole nother project. So then now you got this random guy who's got this project that they wanted to basically, again, fork. So anyways, let me go back to here. So we go back to here. So I'm on this website here. Before I get to Pump, before I get to the, you know, searching and Twitter and the website, all that good stuff, I'm on Pump itself, right? So I'm looking at the actual trades here. and I'm trying to figure out exactly, you know, what makes sense and what does not make sense. So let me do this because my picture's over here. Let me go ahead and bring this over here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's do it. So, all right, so right here, what we're gonna go is to trades. All right, and now once we're in trades, we're gonna see a little bit of the buy and sell history when it comes to this, specifically this trade here. Now this happened about an hour ago from this recording, but I kind of give you a play-by-play as far as what happened here and what consistently happens on this website too, just so you can see like how people are essentially navigating. Now it doesn't mean that this website is completely like this, but I do see a lot of quote-unquote rug pulls, which is essentially not really a rug pull because this website automatically burns the LP so that way you can't pull the liquidity. But what happens is there becomes a drainage of liquidity due to the fact that people are selling hardcore. So, you know, it is what it is. But let me kind of give you an idea of what happened here, because everything's in the transactions history. Nothing can be changed here. So I can give you kind of a play-to-play on exactly what happened and why they did this. And it's so dumb, but I think I need to explain at the end of the day why this is happening, so that way you're aware. You know, that's the end of the day, to be aware of the ecosystem, how to, you know, maneuver in the deep dive worlds of DeFi, especially for you DeFi heads out there. Okay, all right, 1 second. So the first thing first here is, in all these projects, there has a developer holding fee of like usually 5 to 10%. So the developer at this time, which basically is pump.fun, is the developer, I believe, here. And basically, they plan 1.92 SOL, which is essentially, I don't know, let's just say that's like $200 or something. I don't know the estimate, but that's what it is. Now, what we try to look at here, and of course, is who's profiting, who's not. And with this, pump.fun sells, buys for 1.9, he sells for 2.06. So that's obviously a profit. Is it a lot of profit? Not really. I mean, in 2 minutes, he might have made $25 or $30. Then you got this other character here, which is Rush1M. Rush1M came in at 1.1 SOL, came out at 1.01. That's like literally just not a money here. Now, knowing the fact that whoever started this project here is probably 100%, well, not probably, definitely aware that they forked it, essentially are trying to get credit for a project that they never started, trying to get credit for a telegram that they never started, people that are completely in the community. So their only real, you know, idea here essentially is to pump it for like a couple dollars and get out. So basically, the developer comes in. The developer comes in, right? And then he puts in his money. People start to buy. You start to see a couple buys here, and when we get a big enough buy, right? Like this one right here, this AJ4UN2. He came in with 2.1 SOL. He was pretty bullish. But what happened was, immediately after he came in with 2.1 SOL, the developer saw this and was like, oh, this is a good time for me to exit because I can profit $25. Really. And you think about it, if you didn't put any hardcore work in the website, if you didn't put any hardcore work in the telegram, you know, if all these things essentially are not, you know, are essentially are whatever to you, right? And you can put $2 worth of Solana in like, you know, $200 of your own money, and then come up off of $25, $30 in like less than like 2 minutes. I guess for some people that could be worth it. And so that's what we're experiencing here a lot of times, not only in this space, but honestly in spaces all across DeFi, is essentially these forks that really at the end of the day, the whole goal is essentially to fake market their way to the top. And that's just really what it is. And sometimes though, forks are not such a bad thing, especially when you have a fork that has a completely different name. When you have a fork that has a completely different name, but it's like the same concept, same, you know, system, it is what it is, but at least they're being honest. They're being transparent. There's forks, however, that are completely forks that are identical clones that simply are there to, you know, swindle the investors to believing that they're investing into a project that was theirs, but really it isn't. So that's why it's important for me today to sit here and give you guys a breakdown in regards to forking DeFi, because honestly, it's a situation where no one likes it. And to be quite honest with you, the way that DeFi is built with a lot of anonymity and, you know, being able to pretty much be on your own financially in this world, it's not too much you can do about it, you know. Besides, if you're the owner of a particular project, just like they did, and being able to give the actual contract address out and just basically letting the other people in the community know that you're a successful project that is basically fork worthy. And that's the first thing you should always do when it comes to specifically these projects, or any project, whether it be on DEX or Radium, doesn't matter, or even of course on pump.fun. Basically, before you even get so hyped up or bullish about a project, just think to yourself, and it'll save you a lot of money at the end of the day. Because, you know, you could be getting into a situation that you didn't even know, and the LP was burned, and you lose out a lot more money than these LP burn sites like Pump. So there's lessons to be learned here in this space, basically, right? So with that being said, I wanted just to, you know, sit here and talk to you guys about that, because it was very important to me to express the ways that certain people are working in this ecosystem. And it sucks, you know? But at the end of the day, I had to make sense of it. You know, I mean, there's got to be a reason why someone would buy at 1.9 and literally sell at 2.1 to get out real fast. And that's the exact reason. And it is what it is, you know? We got these cheaters. So I want you guys to be careful out there. Understand that this space is very dangerous. If you don't do your research, you could be losing a lot of money. And hopefully, just hopefully, this information will be able to give you the type of guidelines you need to make the smart decisions in this space that'll have you 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50xing. Alright, so with that being said, you guys have a wonderful, blessed day. My name is Low-Key Bunny. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. Make sure to turn those post notifications on. And I will see you again on the next side. On the other side, that is. Have a good day. Bye.